You're listening to Every Day's a Saturday USMC Veteran Podcast.
Now introducing your host of Every Day's a Saturday USMC Veteran, the one-man show, Brian Roof.
What's going on, friends and family? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got another great interview today. This guy is no stranger to the show. We've had him on before. As a matter of fact, he was my first guest that I ever tried to do a video interview. So we're going to show that today because I think it's kind of funny. I think it's funny from especially the first like minute of it. It just, I start off goofy, but I can't wait to have him back on. You know, he's a Marine, he's a gamer, streamer. He's doing amazing things by, you know, keeping the spirit up. I love his videos that he does, his shorts. He does, you know, he does a little bit of everything. He even actually is a food critic at time. You know, I've watched him do food videos. You know, I can't hate him there. I love food, as you guys probably can tell. You know, check it out: beer, guns, bacon, and freedom. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and have our next guest on. He is Gunny, but everybody knows him in the game world as Marine1169, and he's probably smoking you. Here we go with Gunny. What's up, brother?
What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, man, I can't complain. But I'm actually excited to have you back on, bro, especially now that, you know, come a little ways since the last time you were on. You know, you were my first go at trying to do the video thing. You know,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. But you'll see, you know, and the great part about this is there's a little blooper, and I'm gonna go ahead and show it right now. And here, let's get this all right. Cue it up. We're gonna watch pretty much like the first little minute or two of it. All right, so here we are. And there's supposed to be music playing, right?
Friends and family, thank you so much for tuning into Every Day Saturday with your host, Brian Roof. Hey, guys, we got a great
I'm hiding behind the mic.
Fun guest on today. He is a Marine Corps veteran. You may know him as Marine1169 and gotten smoked by him in the game Call of Duty, or some of you may know him as Gunny. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Brian? How you doing?
Hey, can't complain. If I do, and no one else would care.
Yep, exactly.
So, hey, man, tell us a little bit about
right there.
yourself,
Boom.
like how you became
Spill the coffee,
guys.
And then you'll see me just sitting there watching it the whole time. I'm trying to fix it as best as I can.
I'm telling my age right now, 1994.
Yeah, so
actually 93. Oh, wow.
Man, what a difference a year makes, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And even with yourself, man. So how you doing, bro? How's things going for you, man? What's, you know, let's talk about everything and how things are going, and we'll kind of retract a little bit for maybe some of the new people that may not know all about you, but you know, kind of give them a little quick, you know, synopsis of you know, who you are and what you're all about, bro.
Okay. All right. I go by Marine1169. I am a content creator. And I do gaming and different types of content, such as like you said, food reels, you know, doing some funny stuff over that. And I just love creating content, especially when it's surrounding the military, and stuff like that. And a lot of it comes from my background, like memories and stuff like that, what I used to go through when I was in the Marines. I actually served in the Marines for 21 years and 7 long months. Retired in 2016, and been doing content creation since April of 2020.
That's outstanding, man. So 2 more days. You're about to
yeah,
hit that.
2 more days.
Yeah, you're about to hit that mark, man. Look at that.
Yeah.
Still going strong with it too, huh?
Still going strong. You know, there's a lot of roller coasters, ups and downs, circles and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, it's something that I love doing and stuff like that. So I will continue doing it. I'm trying to change a lot of the content up, not just gaming, like I was saying before. And you know, just experimenting and working on other, you know, other material.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know that you got to kind of keep up with the way the gaming world works, right?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I know it seems to me like Facebook gaming has changed its ways dramatically. I've seen a lot of Facebook gamers drop off and
Yep.
they're going to different platforms. Are you kind of dealing with those kind of up and downs as well?
Oh yeah, big time. That hit hard. That definitely hit hard. Um, and without getting into details and stuff like that, like a lot of us was on certain contracts that ended.
Right.
Right. Good contracts. Those ended early. So that caused a roller coaster effect. Um, Towards everyone. But a lot of people just, like, hey, they're doing more gaming over here, so we're gonna go over there and stuff like that. And me, I'm everywhere. When I do my streams and stuff, most streams I'm like streaming on Facebook, Kick, TikTok, YouTube, a lot of it at the same time. Just multi-streaming and everything, trying to take advantage, of all the platforms at once, which I really couldn't do before, which I am allowed to do now as a Facebook partner to keep that partnership. But the way I see it, you adapt and overcome and stuff like that, but you could still do your thing on Facebook. Just again, adapt with the platform, and pretty much that's what I'm doing. That's why you'll see a lot of different other, uh, like when it comes to the reels and stuff like that. It's different. It's not just gaming. It's
Yeah.
acting like a fool or reacting to something. So you'll see a lot of experimenting going on with me on Facebook right now. So that's why you'll see a lot of different materials, just so I can see what works and what doesn't work, and and stuff like that. So but yeah, adapt and overcome. If the platform changes, you change along with it.
Let's watch this
Hey,
real
there's a
quick.
one. I like this one.
Here's what the Blue Falcons. Ooh, gosh dang, son.
They're, they're going at it hard.
Dang, son. Whoa. Oh no.
मैंने तेरा दाम इसको साफ करना ठीक है ना ये उतार लेना कुछ नहीं चलेगा ठीक है
Oh shit.
I would have had a heart attack.
Man, not service related either. Not service connected. Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, I've seen that one. Oh no. Oh my gosh, this fool. Oh no. He had to clean his weapon off, dude. Oh no. Done, son.
crayons.
Hey, why are they taking our crayons?
Hey, the Marine gave it. Sharing.
Oh, that's why. He said, yeah, I was like, all right. You shared. That was great, dude. I love your videos, man. It's great that you switch it up. You know, you're allowing yourself to have more, you know, not putting your eggs all in one basket. And that's, you know, I guess kind of answered my question a little bit. I was going to ask you more or less kind of like for people out there that want to get in the gaming world, how you stay level with the competition, uh, all the different platforms, and you know when to go to the right platforms. And I mean, if you obviously, I mean, ideally, if you can stream to all of them, it's probably that's the best. But if you know what, if you wanted to start off, would you recommend more or less kind of just choosing one platform, trying to go hard there and expanding, or do you think you should just start off expanded?
I think you should start off on one platform first, experiment, see what works better for you. And if you start seeing results, you know, go a little bit hard on that platform. And then once you start seeing some good results, then maybe think about branching off to the other platforms, multi-streaming and stuff like that. Because when you start multi-streaming, it changes. Like we were talking earlier, like when you start your starting your production and stuff like that, like you might have something, a technical difficulty, something goes wrong or whatever. But once you get it tuned in and everything, it goes smoothly. Now you start adding other platforms and everything. Now it's just like, okay, I can't push the button on this one until this goes, you know, live, or this is not popping up on this channel, or like the feed is not going through, and there's so many different things that can happen. So like I used to have an intro that used to I used to do like just on one platform at a time, where when you multi-stream, you can't do that. It's kind of difficult to do that intro and everything, because you have to wait for other things to activate on one platform before, you know, when it's live on the other platform. So sure, you're sitting there, people are watching you, so you just gotta, you know, talk and kind of work through it or whatever. So it gets it's a little more difficult streaming if you're not used to it. So start off, you know, on single platform, whatever's good for you, and stuff like that. Network, that's the best thing to do, and just go from there.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Now what are your plans in terms of doing with this, man? You just going to keep on rocking? I mean, do you have kind of a in game with it? Do you have goals? I mean, or is
The
it like a
goals,
more of
like,
a
yeah, like the more I wanted to do this year, do more videos than anything. Than, you know, on the streaming side, because you could put in hours and hours and hours. I used to put in 8 hours a day, sometime 9, in one stream, when I first started, and then a little bit after that. And it wears you out, it wears you down. And I got told, sat down with some people that's in some high positions, that are gamers. One of them being Stone Mountain and Snoopy, from Pipeline, and
Stone
stuff.
Mountain's one of
And
my favorites.
oh yeah, and pretty much they're like, a, you know, focus on videos, because that's like on YouTube, Facebook, and stuff like that, because that's in long terms. If everything kind of stays where it's at, that's where more of the money is. If you get monetized on those platforms, that's the videos are where it's at and stuff like that. Versus the live stream, you can sit there and live stream, and you know, you just don't do anything. If you're using it to make a profit, make a living, it could be up one day and there's nothing the next day, you know. So the videos is where it's at, you know. Create videos, and not to bore everybody, the way YouTube, Facebook, and all of them use the videos is off of the ads. You know, companies paid. It's just like television. You
Sure.
know, when a commercial comes on, that channel is getting paid by those companies that's paying to run that commercial. It's the same thing on when it comes to ads and stuff like that on all the platforms and everything. That company's paying to run that, and you get like a little percentage of it. Very small, but it adds up over time. So that's my whole focus is just to focus on a lot less streaming, game streaming, or any kind of stream, unless it's in real life, RL, and then do a lot of videos. You know, because I love doing videos and stuff. Even the gaming videos, I love doing that. But I love just showing my personality. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
having fun with it.
Because I'm sure as a Marine, 20 years, you got a little bit of a personality. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, a little craziness too.
Right? We all got that, man. Now, in terms of keeping yourself from getting tired of a game, and getting worn out,
Yeah,
because I mean, I love gaming too, but there's just some days, bro, I'm just like,
right,
I'll start playing, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, man, I really don't feel it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
and just play one round and I'm done. But
Mhm.
what do you do to kind of keep yourself from there, or you just push through it because you know that
Um,
there's people that want to watch you?
so when I'm playing Call of Duty, I play Call of Duty. That's pretty much mainly it.
Right.
I might switch off to like Hell Divers or something like that every once in a while. And that helps right there. I do not play Call of Duty, Warzone, or anything like that. I don't play Warzone or Call of Duty offline. Not at all. I'm playing Fallout. I'm playing
Different games, yeah.
yeah, different games, Starfield, or I'm playing something else, totally something else. And then there's times where I do get on and I'm like, I'm not feeling this. So I'll end the stream early, gotta go. This game's pissing me off. I gotta go. I'm about to,
Lose it, yeah. Gunny's about
you know,
to go Gunny on
yeah,
everything.
yeah. Or I might be feeling frustrated or whatever. Then you'll start seeing it come out, and I'm like getting on my teammates a little bit, and then that I gotta stop.
You start knowing
I don't like
when it's
that.
time, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
it's a game. It's,
yeah, I know.
so
But as a competitor too, you want to win,
yeah.
right? You're just like
Yes,
you think that
definitely,
there's money's on the line every time.
definitely.
No, man, I get it. Gaming, um, it's always been very therapeutic and something
Yeah.
nice to get away with, but it can run its course as well at times. In terms of when did you find yourself getting into gaming, bro? And like you like,
Oh
man, all right,
man.
I want to kind of make more of this something. Because I know, I mean, I grew up with like, Nintendo and went through the
Yo,
progression myself. What
shoot.
about you?
I started on the Atari 2600. All right, way back
Yeah,
there.
right. Yeah, yeah.
And so like
Paperboy.
yeah, yeah, paper. Oh yeah, Paperboy.
That
I
was a
used to
great game.
try to hit the dog and try to hit everything else.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
man, yeah. I used to play. My dad started me when back when there used to be arcades in the malls and stuff like that, and it was huge. That's where you'll find all the kids at in the arcade. It's dark in there, and you walk in there, and all the video games are going off and stuff like that. And I had to be maybe about 4 or 5, and he'll go play, and then I'll be standing up on a box playing a game or whatever, and that's where it started. And then I just the Atari 2600, that was my first console my dad got me, and I just kept going from there. And it's always been like you said, like it helped me mentally just coming up. And then um even when I deployed, we had a game console, and we used to play out there and stuff like that. Or like when I went to Iraq and I had like a little TV in it. They had this thing called the Wild Wild West where we lived at on in TQ Al Taquatum. And I had like a little TV, and then I had some reservists that was attached to me. They didn't know their job, but they knew how to hook up, satellite, like the antenna and stuff like that to catch the AFN TV or whatever,
Yeah.
Armed Forces Network, and stuff like that. And so we had that set up, and then I went to the little shops that they had, the bazaar, and bought like a little game console thing, and I don't even, but it played all these games and stuff. So we've always had that. Even when I went to Afghanistan, um, it helped with. Here we are in a war zone playing war games, but it helped mentally. It helped help you relax and stuff like
Sure.
that.
A little bit feeling like you're back at
Oh
home
yeah,
type of feeling, right? I mean,
yeah. Get your
gives you
mind
that
off of things a
sense.
little bit.
Right, sure.
Yeah,
Gaming is a great thing to kind of get your mind off of things
yeah,
or pull away from things sometimes. Now that's something I remember too when I was, in the living in the barracks and stuff like that. Someone always had a PlayStation 2.
yep.
Back when I was in, it was
PlayStation
PlayStation
2.
2 time
Yep.
frame, right? But someone always had one in their foot locker. And in chow time, we're playing NCAA or Madden, and we would
Madden.
go hard on those
Yes.
games. And I mean, even to the point when I ended up moving off base and I had an apartment, we set up a couple TVs and we did a whole Madden tournament. Everybody came over. I mean, we just had so much fun, and I mean, a lot of shit talking goes in with it too.
Yep.
But I mean, so much fun, and that right there was a great way for us all to kind of get to know each other well too.
Yeah.
Is just by through that, like, hey man, chow, we're going over to Roos room and we're gonna go game it up on NCAA. He's like, yeah, I got UCLA, bro. I got Alabama. All right, cool. Let's go.
Bro. Let me tell you this one. We used to it was myself and my roommate. He later got his own room, but we used to be on duty in the barracks, right? And NCOs, and they're like, hey, yeah, we're like, hey, we used to love Command and Conquer so much. Yo, hey. And so he'll go get his TV and you walking in there with this heavy TV sitting on the desk. We'll go get mine.
Yeah, because they weren't light back in the day.
They were not light. Yep. And he'll get his PlayStation, I'll get mine. And we both got Command and Conquer. It was this adapter that you could connect so you could play against, the other person. And it's like, hey, bro, you got an hour to build whatever you want, and same here. And then after an hour, it's on. So we used to do that, make our rounds, come back. All right, it's your turn. Come back, and stuff like that. But on duty, man, and it's and they didn't have an issue with it at the time. Plus I was with 2nd Medical Battalion at the time. So the duty that used to come around was some, a chief or somebody, and they sit there and watch you and everything, so it was all right.
Yeah, they're not as hard as say a gunnery sergeant came in or something. Hey, what the fuck are you gonna do? Get out there, get your ass off that.
Exactly.
But talk a little bit more about your Marine career and stuff like that. What kind of, I know you did 20 years, man. That's absolutely respectful and one hell of a commitment. Because I mean, 4 years is a lot, but 20 years is definitely a lot. And you definitely worked your way up to Gunnery Sergeant. Talk more about what you did in the Marines and how you like being a Marine and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I started off as an 1141 electrician. Did that. Actually, I thought I was going to be calm, and when I was in MCT, that's when they told you like, hey, you're 1141. And I was like, 1141. What's that? I thought I was
when you get your orders at MCT, bro. Yeah, dude.
You're an electrician. Not realizing that it was communication / electrician. So I got the electrician piece. So I'm like, And so I was in 1141. First started off at Camp Lejeune. Was there for a while, up until I was a sergeant. And then deployed. When I was there, I deployed to Haiti and Guatemala during that time. That was like in the 90s, late 90s. And everything. And then while I'm coming to California, I was supposed to have orders to Japan, Iwakuni, Japan. I was learning Japanese in North Carolina just by watching the TV going, yeah, I can't wait to get to Japan. TMO left, they took all my stuff to ship it out. And I got a call like 30 minutes after that left to come to the office. The S1, went to S1. They said, hey, there's a problem. I said, what? There's a problem with your orders. What happened? You're not going to Iwakuni, Japan. I said, what? When is your stuff leaving? I just left 30 minutes ago. And so they were like, yeah, you got orders to California because I know it said Iwakuni, but they put the wrong code on it. Like, what? And I re-enlisted for that, so.
Oh, Oh, dang.
Just before they had, the whole career, the actual MOS, a career planner. It is just some Joe Smuckatelli staff sergeant. They say
The
like, "Hey,
career
you're the
jammer.
career jammer." Bam. And he's like,
Yeah.
"What?" Somebody that doesn't want to do it, and that's what happened. So yeah, and then I ended up in California and wound up going to was supposed to go I was supposed to go to Iraq when everybody pushed out the first time. Didn't, because I got orders to recruiting duty. So I wanted to go into recruiting duty, came off recruiting duty, went to Iraq.
How many years did you have to do the recruiting duty? The 4
3
years?
years.
3
3
years?
years.
Okay.
Yeah, it was,
Okay.
and they
Yeah, that's
had
how
me
you
there for literally 3 years, all the way up. I
on
literally
the dot.
on the dot, because they were hurting so bad at the time that they were like, "Hey, we need you." I was like, "What?" All the way up into that 3 years. I went the next day, picked up my orders, and I ran out laughing like the Joker. And everybody's like looking at me. I'm like,
Uh,
that recruiting duty.
it's rough, I've heard. I've heard it's one of the toughest jobs,
It's yes, it's yeah, you could have that. But it made me who I am today. I guess it actually did. Because I used, naturally I'm an introvert. Now I'm not, kind of not, recruiting duty got me out of that, but I was definitely an introvert,
You were more quiet and stuff like that.
quiet.
Yeah.
The phone would ring. I'm like, "No, you answer it. No, you answer it." Now, or go talk to that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
But out there, you were forced to do it.
Yep.
And then later on, coming up and stuff, as you pick up rank and stuff, you pick up E7, and then you go to the school and stuff like that. Back at Courthouse Bay, engineer school, and I became an 1169, and that's where I got the 1169 from, utilities chief. And then you, like, when I went to Afghanistan, I was in charge of utilities, heavy equipment, combat engineers, and we had some motor T asset, and assets attached to us, like the up armored vehicles and stuff like that, because we were also the quick reaction force out there while we were deployed too. So yeah, so there's a lot in between those 20 something years, but
A little bit, maybe.
yeah.
But like in terms of your 20 years,
Yeah.
there's good times, there's bad times. We know
It's good,
that.
yeah, good times and bad times. A
Absolutely.
lot more good times.
Right. Now, do you
Yeah.
have any really good like a story that you'll never forget, that always, something that sits in your head that you're like, I'll never forget this? I mean, I know there's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that. Okay, I'm gonna watch my. I'm not gonna. So there was this
We're
one
not in a
story.
baby show. Here we go. This ain't Baby Shark. But
So so there was this. I just told this story on like in a video on my Facebook. So
Okay. If you said it on Facebook, you'd say it on here for sure.
Oh yeah, okay. So I had a Marine, and I got a lot of stories about this one particular Marine. All right. When I came, where did I come back? I was stationed in Albany, Georgia, and I came back. And when I checked in, I was talking to the chief warrant officer, and she mentioned that, like, going through the Marines and stuff. And she mentioned this one Marine. I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to call him Joe Smuckatelli. All right. And he was like, as soon as she mentioned his name, I was like, "What? So and so? He looks like this?" And she's like, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, hell no." I was pissed. Pissed. And she's like, "What?" I said, "I was with this same Marine 3 years ago, and he was just a fuck up. He was same Marine that, like, that 3 years prior, when we were getting ready to go to Iraq. We were, myself and my buddy, I was a staff sergeant. He had just picked up Gunny, so he was like, "Come here, boot." And he was like, I was like, "Oh man." And he was like, he said, "I'm not taking so and so with, like Joe Smuckatelli with me." I was like, "I'm not taking him with me on my side." He was going to Fallujah, I was going to out to Quadam. And so I wound up, like, leaving there and going to the regiment instead, because they needed me up there, and deploying with them. And I hear later on, 3 months later, one of my Marines say, "Hey, did you hear about Joe Smuckatelli?" I said, "What happened?" "Well, there was a vehicle. He was ground guiding a vehicle, the forklift, a tram. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. It's a big forklift, right? And it was carrying a Connex box, and it was getting ready to hit another Connex box. So this Marine, as he's ground guiding, stuck his hand up to block it. Why would you do that? Block, and he crushed his hand. He wasn't even in Iraq 2 months, and they sent him home. And I was like, get the hell out of here. And this is like 4 months later, I hear about it. Same Marine that flips his car as he's coming back. My buddy just reminded me about this 3 weeks ago. Same Marine, because we were laughing about it. Same Marine that flipped his car coming from the gas chamber because he was racing another Marine. And on Camp Pendleton, turned to the guy was passing him. He turned to the guy to flip him off, and he flips his car. So 3 years forward, this guy's a corporal. I'm like, how is he a corporal? How is he alone still in the Marine Corps? And so it's going on, and I see him, and I'm like, oh my God. He sees me. He's like, starts smiling, and I'm like, a little bit down the line, he's over there washing some equipment, right? And he's got a wetsuit on. He's washing some equipment with the pressure washer, and everybody knows the pressure washer is high powered. That thing cuts cement, you know. And so he plays around. He's like, he's talking. I guess what happened. Okay, so I had him. The Marines come and get, like, one of the Marines come and get me and said, Gunny, you need to come down to the lot. I was like, what the heck happened? So myself and my staff started rush down to the lot, and this guy's got a huge gash in his leg, right? And I'm like, what the hell? And they're working on him and stuff. And so what happened is he's playing around and he tells the Marines, hey, you want to see me cut my dick off? Or wash my dick? That's what he said.
Bro.
You want to see me wash my dick? And so he takes it and he goes like this, and it cuts him. And he gets like 12 to 16 stitches later on. It cuts him. Almost cuts his freaking penis off.
So
Almost.
he did hit the penis too?
No,
he got lucky.
He missed it.
Oh man, lucky. He got lucky because he would have had none.
Yes. He would have lost it.
Yeah.
He would have lost it. And that was one of the stories that stuck in my head. And I'm like,
why would you do that?
Yeah. Only
Bro,
Marine,
that guy just,
Yes. Only Marine got in some other trouble and stuff like that. I got some other stories about that. The only Marine ever that I recommended you take his rank away, because he had one more incident. He got busted down to a lance corporal. And one more incident, he would have got busted down to a private and kicked out of the Marine Corps, processed out. That happened. I recommend, and I remember the captain saying, he's going to get kicked out. I said, he needs to go. It should have happened a long time ago, right? And he got processed down the line, and I had to escort him off the base. He followed me. He followed me in my vehicle, in his vehicle. We got off the base. He pulls up next to me. He just looks at me and go like that. And I'm like looking at him, and I just take off. Like, screw this. I'm out. Bye. It's just like, yeah. So that's one of the. It's not one like a, that's one of the.
Did he give him a big chicken dinner? Dishonorable?
No, other than honorable. It's other
than this boy, he better not be
honorable.
out there trying to go get medical care for his stupidity.
You can still do it. I mean, it's other than honorable, and eventually that you can overturn that and get some other stuff, but it wasn't a dishonorable thing because he didn't do anything.
He was a liability. Hell
He was
of a liability to everybody.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, who's gonna go put their hand in between some 20-footers that, like, good Lord, bro, I don't even know how much they weigh, but they're heavy. I mean, and you watch them get moved on the daily around these things, not like you just showed up and he's like, oh, what are these things? They're not made out of styrofoam.
It's ridiculous. Oh man. I'm thinking about him in my head, and later on I seen him after he's out. He's on this Facebook stuff, and I'm like, this guy.
I mean, as a staff NCO, bro, I imagine you've had to deal with a lot of craziness, because one thing with Marines, and especially if you get them guys bored enough, they will do some really crazy stuff.
They will do.
They will find instruments through everything and make something happen out of it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the stories that are told, you just can't make it up, man. And you'll see it with your own eyes. And you just laugh about it. Like I was telling you, like my buddy reminded me about some of the incidents that same Marine did because he seen my post on Facebook and he started laughing. And so he called me up. I hadn't spoke to him in years. He said, "Bro," and I was like, "Yo, man." We started talking. And he reminded me some other stuff that guy did, and I was like, "Wow, that is so crazy, man." It's like the car flipping over, and I said, "I remember that." Yeah, I remember hearing about that. How he flipped it over and on base and a helicopter. They had to heal him to the medical to the Camp Pendleton hospital, from that spot and stuff like that. So it's this guy. Yeah, but there's plenty of stories.
Oh man, trust me, I know. I definitely there's a lot of times that we all don't get caught, but there's a lot of times we do get caught, right?
Yep. Yeah.
It just kind of goes with the territory because
Yeah.
sometimes when we're so deep in the fuckery,
Yep.
we don't realize that anybody can walk in at any good time, and you're over here, shoving stuff up each other and just just eating each
Being
other.
stupid, yeah.
Bro, imagine how bad it would have been for us if we would have had the good old cameras back in, and the video phones
Let me tell you this.
back in those days, because
That
I would've
during
been in
that
trouble.
time, I seen a lot of things change.
Oh,
So,
that's right, because you work in kind of towards the tail end of, when
oh
at least
yeah,
when it
like
all happened, it was new.
phones popping up, videos popping up. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
now, bro, I'll go on TikTok and I'll see some stuff. I'm like, oh man, that makes us look horrible. Like, and the funny part is, like, I probably would have been a part of it.
I know,
Like,
right? Because that's you don't know unless you're. I'm not even going to say just the Marines, just the military, right?
Sure.
Y'all do some off the wall funny stuff,
We're very
but
packish, right?
right,
Like, we roll in a pack and kind of,
yeah,
we do things within the pack,
yep.
and sometimes we even fight with each other in the
Oh
pack.
yeah, yeah,
It's just
yeah,
it goes with the territory. But yeah, I actually loved those times though, right? Like the times when we thought, oh, staff NCOs are over there meeting, they're going to be gone for a little while. All right, everybody in the back, Royal Rumble, bah, and everybody's over there wrestling. I mean, those were some of the more fun times, right? Because
yep,
it was always like, then we'd have someone looking out for the staff NCOs when they would be breaking out, and then,
yep.
cuckoo, ha,
Because the staff and shows go do their thing too, and they act like a fool too. I ain't gonna lie, you act like a fool too. And then I remember, like, when I became a staff NCO, it's just like I stopped walking. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna, and I'll turn. I'll go walk that way. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know. I'm out.
out of sight, out of mind.
I'm out of sight. I never mind. I'm not going that way.
I had this one staff sergeant, man. I love that dude. He was a great guy, and he actually got me out of the one unit that I was in that was absolutely like, it was that unit was made me kind of like not really like the Marines right off rip, because it was just, man, these dudes were just all over us like flies on shit. But this one staff sergeant, he came to the unit and he was just down to earth, cool ass dude. He'd take us over, like me and my one buddy, he took a liking to. So he would take us and like, all right, we got to go do some runs real quick, and then we go over to this fool's apartment. He's got a keg and stuff in the garage with a pool table.
Yeah.
And we just be over there drinking some beers. And he's like, don't worry about this. We're good.
Yep.
When we get back, you just let them know we had to go pick some shit up from TMO or, whatever. We just went over and we're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was kind of fun. I mean, and then he ended up getting us orders to a different unit and getting us out of there, which
That's good.
it was kind of nice. Yeah. Because I mean, like I said, that unit was rough, and a lot of people felt like they were never going to get out of that unit because they were like, I mean, they had us picking weeds out of cracks and,
wow, stupid stuff.
I hate. Oh
Yes.
my gosh, the barracks field days and everything were nightmares.
Yeah.
We would always fail. The company gunny go in the first room. He just wiped down the place that someone decided not to clean, and he knows, like, oh man, no, I'm gonna clean right here all the way up inside and screw this vent, and I'm gonna get in here. And then you get that call back at the shop. Hey, you guys failed. And you're like, what? No. Yeah, he failed the whole barracks.
Yep. Right. Yeah. I see, and that's one thing I hated, like playing stupid games. I hated playing them when I was, like a junior Marine and stuff like that. So I didn't play no. I couldn't do it because I hated them.
It's a
You
little
know.
too much. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to kind of go through it in boot camp, right?
Yep.
Like that's kind of what you kind of need that hardcoreness. But once you kind of get out in the fleet, there's got to be a level of respect with each other. When they start doing nitpicking things to you, it really starts building up that resentment between the non-NCOs and the NCOs, right? And then
Right.
it starts to be them versus them, and it's not much of a team anymore. And they're always like trying to get something by past the NCOs, and you just lose that whole respect because sometimes you feel like you're just being treated like an animal or something,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you make you lose respect. And it's kind of crazy because a lot of corporals, right, like come out from being lance corporals, and that in particular rank is a little hostile, right? Because a
Yeah.
corporal, they're brand new NCO, and they're just cock ready. Like they know they could chew some ass now,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And they got a little bit of a layer underneath them.
Yeah.
But it's funny
Oh
how
yeah.
that whole thing transpires, especially within your own unit, and when you have to eventually pick up rank and separate yourself because now you're an NCO, and now you're sitting here having to give them dudes orders to do shit, and then they're like, "Fuck off, Roof! You were just over here fucking around with us, man." Like,
Yep.
But yeah, man. So since you got out and everything, 20 years in the Marine Corps, long time. That's a lot of stuff to process and go through. Mental health wise, how have you been able to manage since you've been retired and de-marine yourself a little bit? There's never de-marining us. We'll always be Marines, but
Yeah.
there's a level that you kind of got to adjust to that we're not usually used to.
You're right. It took a while, man. It definitely took a while to adjust. And when I say, and that was in 2016 when I retired, right? I remember getting in trouble at work. My first job, civilian job that I started working at, I was, maintenance supervisor. And I told the guy, wait, he was doing some stupid stuff over the radio. Everybody in the plant could hear him, and it was demeaning, to
Right.
females and stuff. And he's like, and no one's saying anything, right? And so uh instead of going straight to him, I got everybody together, you know, and talked to everybody. And while I'm talking, this guy's like jabbering, talking, and on the side and stuff. So I said, "Hey, bro, and pay attention, bro. Man, come on, pay attention. I'm gonna go." And then I stopped and I go, "I'm gonna go Marine on you." And we all started laughing. Everybody started laughing. I started laughing. I get called in by HR. Yo, so and so came. Oh, it was he came. It was him and HR and my manager, and they told me separately, like, oh yeah, so and so was complaining um that you threatened him. He couldn't sleep for 2 or 3 days, and all this other stuff. He wasn't sure if you were playing around or not. When you said, I said, are you freaking serious? I'm over here trying to protect his ass, for stuff that he's doing. And I told him, I said he was doing all this stuff over the radio, and blah 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 blah. And I'm over here trying to protect him and talking to everybody. And I said, when I said that, it's a joke, you know. So they were like, all right, they were cool about it and stuff. But it was just like, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
And I've said that at another place I worked at too, like sticking up for people. Because that's my thing. I don't like seeing people treated, wrong and stuff like that. I'm not gonna go straight to the HR and whatever. I'm gonna address it,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
and and talk to you about it and stuff like that. And same thing happened in other places. Oh, you guys want me to go talk to them? Yeah, talk to them. Hey, so and so, hey, this is what's going on. And then when the manager this is the second place. And when the manager turns around, and goes, "Hey, am I doing so?" Oh no, no, no. Oh, now I look like an ass. I'm over here, and now nobody wants to talk in front of me because I'm over here sticking up in front of you for you got, you know what? Fuck y'all. And so adjusting and stuff like that. It's hard, coming out of the military, especially for anybody, whether it's 4 years or 20 years. 20 years even worse. But like me, I'll go, like the manager, like the one manager I had was scared to do anything, scared to go talk to the person in charge of the plant or whatever, and it's all tell him this is what's going on. I'm like, all right, I'll be right back, and I'll go do it. Because that's the way I was as a gunnery sergeant. Now I'll be right back. I'll go talk to the CO, the commanding officer, or whatever. Oh, okay, Lieutenant, you sir, I'll be right back. I'll go. And and it's like, stop being so scared. And the thing is, and on the civilian side is the same way. It's hard to adjust. It was hard to adjust, and it might still, if you could hear it in my voice, it still is a little bit. So yeah, the transition is it's you just talking to other vets, talking to you like this, the game inside, talking to vets also over there too, pulling your buddy up, somebody that's also retired or out of the military period. It helps and stuff like
It
that.
does.
Finding those individuals that are at that workplace, that was in the military, that actually helps and stuff like that. So you can talk. It helps with the adjustment and stuff. But yeah, it's a
Now,
hard adjustment.
don't you find? I mean, at least this is for me. It seems to be a lot more therapeutic for me to actually talk to people like other Marines or
Yeah.
other military members that experienced a lot, because it's really hard sometimes, as you know, bro, like talking to people about our life and things that
Right.
we've experienced, and for them to even fathom it, right?
Right. 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 Right.
It, like a lot of people here, they complain about their life, but they have great lives
Yeah.
compared to others.
Right.
Um, and so it's hard for some people to realize that that perfect life that you live can be interrupted and have experiences that are beyond what others can even fathom or imagine. Right.
Right. Right.
And I don't care how many movies you watch, war movies you watch. I don't care how many war games you play. It doesn't replicate what happens on the actual field.
Right.
The sounds, there's more than just sounds of weapons. There's sounds of human beings screaming and, you know, ricochets. And I mean, there's so much things that people have no clue. But when we talk to each other without even having to be explicit with it all, you already understand, right? We
Right.
can
Right.
just talk to each other without having to be like, dude, you understand, like when that bomb went off by us and how it felt, like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I remember how that shit just ran through my body, or whatever.
Yeah.
But
How the air changes around you and the
yeah,
pressure. Yeah.
right. And it's hard, I think, for a lot of, like, say, our family members and people like that who see us and probably know that we've gone through some shit, and we react certain ways. We're different than I think a lot of people, like a Marine military people in general.
Yeah.
We react differently to certain things and situations, and I think a lot of people don't understand that sometimes, and they just don't get us, right?
Right.
Or I feel like we're very misunderstood, and
Right.
that's why a lot of these people end up finding themselves in a isolation and stuff like that, right? Is because they're with a whole bunch of people who are like, this guy's crazy,
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I understand it's crazy, because I've been there, done that, and I can relate. It's hard for people to understand if they've never walked a mile in someone's shoes.
Right. Yeah.
We can only speculate and think, well, what we think in our own head, or what we've seen from, some experience, but actually live in that is a whole other thing. And like I said, I don't know, bro. For me personally, it's hard to go talk to psychs and stuff like that, because they start asking me questions that have nothing to relate to what I'm actually
Right.
going through, or even my thinking process is at,
Right.
and they're trying to put me on the same level field as the average Joe Blow who's coming in from, their work bogging them down, or this or that and the other, and then I'm trying to come in there like, bro, I've had this happened to me, this or these things, and now I have weird feelings in my body, and things like that, and they're like, okay, yeah, and then they start going off into their tangent. You're like, I don't know how this is gonna help me.
Yeah, yeah.
You walk out like, man, I don't feel like I didn't get help. I feel like I get more help like here, bro. That's I guess my long-winded whole thing I'm saying is just these kind of conversations I have found to me way more beneficial than going in and sitting in front of someone I have no clue who they are and they don't know about me. And then the lack of trust of just sometimes with human beings in general, and with my information, how are they going to take it? That's the other part that we seem to hold back, I think, a lot too. When a lot of guys go in and they go talk about things, they don't go all the way down and express their feelings because they're too afraid to. You're going to think I'm really crazy if you thought about how I am. Like, like when I see kids playing and stuff, like if it's not safe and it looks crazy, my thoughts go of them like hitting the ground, splashing their head, like breaking open, like it's gory, right? Like I don't think the average human thinks like that, but like anytime I go into a situation, I'm always thinking someone could get seriously hurt here. How do we protect that from happening? I don't want to see that shit on my watch.
Yeah. Exactly. That I know exactly what you're saying too. That's like I wish like when you go see somebody like a psychologist or something like that, that that is somebody that was in the military that experienced the same. That would help. You know what I'm saying?
It really would. I think so.
I think it would. Like there was one that I went to, and right before I got out, and she was pretty good. She was pretty good. Got a lot of stuff out, but it wasn't. Like you don't know exactly what I've been through or going through because although you're on a military base, you weren't in the military. You didn't go through the same stuff. It's the same thing. Like if I was a police officer or a firefighter, I wouldn't know. Right. I wouldn't be able to connect to a certain point. Because only they know.
And when it comes to PTSD, I don't think PTSD looks the same on everybody.
No.
Right. No. Everybody has different things that have gotten to them, and you don't have to go to combat necessarily to have PTSD. Imagine how much these first responders, law enforcement, all them, on the daily, how much, man, they're seeing that stuff on the daily, and they got families at home, and they got to go up and see these crazy scenes with little kids and stuff like that. And then got to go and get the next call. Right. And then there's another call after that. We can't stop because we saw something that's like, oh my gosh. Now with the current events and the way the world is kind of headed, do you kind of see a little bit that we are getting to where our children are even getting scared and very fearful and not as, I feel like the way social media pushes things, it induces a lot of fears for our kids. Right. And then anxiety, things that like I don't feel like we as kids experience as much, right? Because I don't think that we were preview to so much information. Technology, all that stuff. These kids, man, they got an iPad or a Kindle or something like that. It got access to World Wide Web, which it shares any kind of information, right? And I think at a certain age and level and maturity, sometimes we don't know how to process that, or it starts to process a certain way. Do you see any kind of concern as yourself, and because this is a little bit of a concern of mine, is that the military may find itself hard to fill spots because everybody's got anxiety, ADHD, and then they want to give you pills for this, pills for that. And then once you get into the pill world, the military doesn't want you anymore. Right. Or you got to really jump through a lot of hoops to even get considered to be in after you went through. And now you are labeled as you got PTSD, your anxiety, you got social disorders, all these things. And now you want to end up joining that's why it's like with some of these parents, like, I'm trying to caution them, like, don't just go throwing them into a place and them giving off your
Yeah,
kid
yeah,
pills, because that
yeah,
will
yeah.
screw up their future,
Yep.
at some point in time. Make sure, I'm sure there's kids out there that need stuff, but there's probably kids out there that don't, right? And then
Mhm.
once you go into that world, man, boom, disqualified.
Yep. Yeah. And that used to when I was a recruiter, that was a thing. Like, what are you taking?
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Well, you
Yeah.
got to be off of it for like 6 months or whatever. Or, and then the kid used to say, like, man, my parent used to give me that and I didn't want to take it. So I stopped taking that stuff a long time ago, you know. But yeah, that right there will hold you back and stuff. So, it's yeah, but you are right. So much information comes to kids today that and then you don't know what's right and what's facts and what's false. And everything like that. And it does give you anxiety. It gives, it's a lot more than what we got when we were younger, you know.
And the thing about it is too is when I look at it, bro, like I remember being a little kid, right? And watching shows or movies, and I would think they were real,
Yeah,
because for a little kid, it looks all real. I
right,
didn't know there's a whole script, there's the movie, until I got older, obviously. But that's
right.
like the type of thing. These kids are so fragile and so young. They could see that like pigs started flying, and someone generated some thing, and they could literally go and be like, "Oh my gosh, pigs fly." You know that?
Yeah,
No, I don't really. I mean, that someone generated a video, but they're so young and naive.
yeah,
That's the scary part is, and you can put them on the kids' YouTubes. You could do those kind of things, but at the end of the day, it still comes back to a lot of these adult videos that have humor in there that we might get, but
yeah,
some kid might take that like for real,
right.
and that could put them into some kind of a tangent or make them do stuff. It's so, I mean, I don't know, man. The technology world is getting kind of scary.
Yeah,
We're getting into the AI, which is absolutely crazy. Then, just the worldwide access to everything. Um, our kids have to grow up a lot faster than I think we did. I was out playing, you know, play army men and like shooting and bike riding and
right,
and
right.
doing all these outdoors things. Now these kids, they want to,
I
sit
think
inside.
I think they well, it depends on where you live and where you're from and
Sure.
stuff like that. Like growing up in New York, I'm originally from New York. I grew up a lot faster out there than you
Yes,
would
'cause
probably in
sure.
California or somewhere. A lot faster. So, but yeah, I definitely see what you're talking about with the technology and where I grew up faster over there because I was out seeing things, um, walking around in the environment where in the good areas where you walk down the street and you get your shoes taken. Like what? The hell?
They'll
In
throw it over
elementary.
a line.
I'm in elementary and stuff like that, and it's like, what the hell? Give me your shoes, shorty. What? Or something like that, and I think I grew up more tougher
Right.
over there. But kids today, with like you said, the technology and stuff, mentally, in certain other ways, they grow up, a lot faster. They're definitely smarter when it comes to information because the information is right there in front of you. Where back then I have to go to the library where and look up at a book that was like 20 years old or something like that to get to learn about something. But yeah, 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 definitely,
I
definitely.
wish I do wish though that the information we saw was all 100% legit, right? But
Right.
that
And
but
that,
that's
yeah,
the one
that's
thing, right? If you're a TikTok news person, you get your news from TikTok, you better make sure you're looking at other sources real quick and
exactly.
and
Yeah.
and looking into things because that's the other part nowadays. you never know what someone's narrative is, right? When they're trying to
Right.
do something. And anybody out there nowadays can make a video, can I mean, I've gotten to the level I can make some crazy video. I can make a background disappear for someone and then put them
Mhm.
into a situation.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, like the editing world is now in the hands of everybody.
Right. Right.
And there's a lot of free editing tools out there that people don't got to pay for. But
Right.
these are things that back in the day were not in the hands of everybody, right? I
Right.
mean, these podcasts back then would have been a lot for us to do. Now you can go on Amazon, get yourself a webcam for $49.99 and a mic for $29.99 or something, and all these things are accessibly and even more cheaper than they ever were before. But like even with your green screen in the background, you
Right.
can just make something in the background off of your stuff. These are things that we weren't able to do
Yeah.
a while back, right? I mean,
Right.
these are all things now that we have that access to that back in the 90s and the 80s, bro. Like this is stuff we would have been seeing on TV or a movie. Like, oh wow.
Yeah. My 12-year-old daughter used Photoshop. I think it was Photoshop. And she took a picture of my son and put him he was in the kitchen, put a totally different head on him, some other stuff on him, and it looked real. And I was like, what the heck? And I was like, yo, I have to go ask her how she did that, because I want to know, so from my own material and stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, it's
That is what
wow.
I will say about these kids is because they are basically handed tablets and stuff pretty much at a young age, or just technology in general is way more accessible to them,
Yeah.
that they're a lot quicker and faster with it. Like I'm shocked. I'll be like at a ballpark and some little kid will be carrying around a cell phone and what they can do. I'm like, gosh, dang, man,
Yeah.
they could already figure out how to unlock it, how to put your code in
Hmm.
and get right into it. I've had to watch out putting my code in around my kids, man, because dang,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
dad's code.
I know it.
Like,
I've been knowing it
uh,
for years. What?
yeah, right. I watch over your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. But hey man, I really appreciate you coming on and
Oh, it's
doing a
always
round
good.
two with me, bro.
Always
I
good.
always love our conversations and hanging out with you. And I'm a big fan of yours. I love watching your streams.
Same here, man. Same
I, I
here.
I love showing up for you and supporting you. I try to share you out with everybody as well.
Appreciate it.
But is there any last things you would like to say before we head out, bro?
I know, just keep you guys' heads up through all those roller coasters, because especially these days, things are rough. All right, for a lot of people. Keep your head up. Just stay motivated. That's it. Hoorah.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. If you could just hold tight real quick, we'll make sure all the recording's good. I'll be
Yep.
right back there with you. Go ahead and enjoy the snacks that are back there. Hold on. All the crayons. All right, friends and family. All right, well, that's gonna rock out another great episode and a great interview. What's your Grant? That is Marine1169. Go check him out. If you're into the gaming world, go give him support, give him some love. Once again, his gamer tag is Marine1169. I was thinking the 69 was for something else, being a Marine, but now that I know what it is, how boring, but no, I love Gunny being on. He's a great guy. Great content. Like I said, go show him some love. Doesn't cost a thing. I hope you guys are having an amazing day out there. Remember how I say, don't let the day kick your ass. Make sure you're out there kicking it. Until next time, we'll see you guys.